Ropes! I'm on a plane! I'm on a plane! We are on our way to Cranfield to have an interview with a really interesting guy called Aeron Morgan. Aeron is one of the first, if not only, disabled drivers using hand controls in the BMW production series in motorsport. He recently had an accident where he is now a wheelchair user, so he has the experience of life with and without disabilities and how people live under those circumstances. Left hand always goes on there, right hand on there. Yep. On your right hand, so if you pull it up fully, you're pushing both brakes down. I don't know if you can see from where you are, James. If you look at the right pedals here, if you go up, you're pushing both up at the same time. Now if you go right, the right pedal goes, and if you go left, the left pedal goes. The great thing about aeroplane is, I know if I set 2,300 RPMs, it will maintain about 100 knots. If I want to descend, I bring it down to about 1,600 RPMs, and that will give me about 500 feet per minute on a glide, and you can trim it to hold that angle. And then I know if I set it back to about 2,000 to 2,200, it'll give me the right speed for the approach. Any other thoughts before we go in and have a foot bath? Can you share with us how you went from playing with motorbikes to now racing BMWs?
Well, when I was brought a motorbike for my Christmas when I was 7 years old. I did motocross racing for 9 years, and I had a big accident when I was 15. Following this, my rehabilitation in hospital, I was offered the chance to get involved into motor racing from a friend for a promotion for their company.
How did you get, I suppose, the courage, or just the kind of the fact, okay, my life is different? How did you rebuild yourself?
I think a lot of it was down to the fact, when I was at the racetrack just after I had my accident, I stopped breathing for 9 minutes, and kind of after having the knowledge of that just made me think, I'm just so lucky to be alive. I've got to make the most of it whilst I'm here. I'm still young. There's still a lot of things I can achieve and do in my life. I've just got to embrace anything that comes my way, if you like. And I'm quite an open-minded person, so if a new idea comes along, I'm just willing to take it on board and run with it, if you like. My disability plays a part in it. However, my attitude and my determination in my head will never let my disability get in the way. There's nothing I don't think I can do apart from walk, run, jump.
Is that also one of the most important things, to have had such a strong kind of love and support from your family?
Definitely. It's a massive part. Massive. I can't thank my mum and dad enough. When I originally had my accident, my mum and my dad both just put their jobs on hold, moved into the hospital with me. There was a little house just outside the hospital, and were there for me every day. There's nothing more I could ask them for or anything like that.
What problems did you have to overcome in order to prove to the racing authorities that regardless of your disability, you are on the same playing field as everybody else?
Oh, there were many things I had to do. The first one was I had to pass my ARDS test, the same as any able-bodied person has to as well. Then following that, I had to prove to the MSA that I could evacuate my car within 6 seconds. Following this, I then had to show them that or gain some experience of racing on the track and observing the marshals, the flags and things like that. So, following that, I was able to get my race license, but the whole process took about 10 months.
And how long would it take for anybody else who doesn't have a disability?
Well, they pass the ARDS test, then apply for their race license, so 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I feel more that I'm just trying to maybe kind of prove to the MSA, say, that disabled people can do it, regardless of age, you know, it doesn't really matter. Just disabled people can do it, if you like, young or old.
Off the brake. Off the brake, turn in. Good. Start feeding in. And let it go.
The company's called Adapted Vehicle Hire, and it is all in the name essentially. So we provide a variety of vehicles with different adaptations for people who are either a disabled driver or a passenger. So you can either drive with the hand controls, left foot accelerator, or remain in your wheelchair and have an able-bodied driver drive you around whilst you remain in the chair. My sponsor Aeron, he sort of hit it on the nail on the head when he said, once you're in the vehicle, you're essentially the same as everybody else on the road or on the track. Yeah. And I think that's the key thing, is that, in a vehicle, it is freedom for people.
Yeah.
If you can get out about on the road, you can, it adds to your life in some cases. You can do things that you might not have been possible, and that's part of what the sponsorship's about. It's not just, we're very lucky, we're in the industry and we're doing well within the industry, but it's not the typical business sense. We want to give something back to that community that supported us, and it's a case of being out there and being seen to support people like Aeron and other things. There is a marketing and a press reason behind it, but it's also that it encourages other people to participate.
It's a very competitive series, and winning may not be in the question this year, but as I said, it's definitely something I'm striving for.
I see in the charts you had 15 years as an able-bodied person,
yep,
and then 4 years with a disability. Which Aeron Morgan do you think is the stronger Aeron Morgan?
The disabled one, definitely.
Right.
I'm a better rounded person. What I've managed to achieve and what I've managed to do since being disabled, it just humbles me to think of it sometimes. I mean, I've met the Queen.
Right.
I drive a brand new car. I passed my driving test when I was 16. I'm doing full season's worth of motor racing this year. I'm living my life happily at university. I don't know if there'd be much more that I want in my life, to be honest.